This is the Nude Party, and you're listening to Cigar City
Radio.
Radio.
Cigar City Radio is sponsored by No Clubs and StateMedia.com. Find out about upcoming concerts in Tampa Bay by visiting StateMedia.com and tagging No Clubs on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Use the hashtag #WeAreConcerts.
Here's what's coming up for No Clubs. Friday, January 11th, Minerals 25th Anniversary Tour at the Orpheum. Friday, January 18th, No Name at the Ritz Ybor. Tuesday, January 22nd, Green Sky Bluegrass at Janus Live. Tuesday, February 12th, Shut Up and Dance with Walk the Moon at Janus Live. Sunday, February 17th, Murder by Death at the Orpheum. Sunday, February 24th, a super sludgy metal show with Corrosion of Conformity, Crowbar, The Obsessed, and Mothership at the Orpheum. Wednesday, February 27th, Cypress Hill and Hollywood Undead at Janus Live. Special show Monday, March 4th, Dropkick Murphys 2019 St. Patrick's Day Tour. Who doesn't want to see that? At Janus Live. That's Monday, March 4th. Sunday, March 17th, The Noise presents Nothing More, The Truth Tour with Of Mice and Men, Bad Flower, and Palisades at the Ritz Ybor. And Friday, March 22nd, Switchfoot is coming along with our friends Colony House at the Ritz Ybor. And then we have Friday, April 5th, the Revivalists are going to be at Janus Live. So a bunch of kick-ass shows from No Clubs coming at you next year. To check out all those shows and more, you can head to statemedia.com. Welcome to Cigar City Radio, episode number 89. The song you just heard was Pick Fairy from the album Drug Tax by Fruit and Flowers. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, and making the magic happen, a man who's becoming a little more like the Grinch every day, Mr. Jason Solanas.
I thought up another new band name for you. If I want to run it by you.
What's that?
Thermos.
Okay. I can see that.
I think that'd be actually a pretty good band, even though I have to bleep it. Sorry, everyone. You don't know the good band name.
Yeah, they'll never hear the name.
Confidential.
Yeah, keep that for us. Our guest on this episode is Guy Keltner, known more popularly by his artist name Acid Tongue. He's also a part of Freak Out Records. He hosts Freak Out Fest in Seattle, which is where he's from. And he's been a big supporter of Cigar City Management and all of our bands for a long time. He put Fruit and Flowers on Freak Out Fest this past year. He's always on the road, always touring. He was living in New York for a while. And luckily, he came to Tampa to visit and to play a show. And we were able to meet up with him then and chat at Dysfunctional Grace. And then I think, where did we go? Like right around the corner for
we went to Elmer's.
Elmer's for like a 1 p.m. shot of Jack.
It was tequila.
It was tequila.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was Hornitos tequila.
Yeah, at like right after noon. So that's how Guy rolls, I guess. But super fun guy to hang out with, and we love that guy. Yeah, Guy. How many times can we say Guy in this intro? That's the question.
I love that guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, Guy is just such a wonderful guy. For real, check out his stuff at Acid Tongue online. He's a great musician, great guy. We just can't wait for him to come back to Tampa. So come back soon so we can put another show together and have some afternoon tequila shots.
Guy.
So here it is, episode number 89. Well, on that note, on that lovely note, we are hanging out at the wonderful, amazing, famous, dysfunctional Grace in Ybor City, Florida. And a good friend of ours has dropped by. His name is Guy. He's a guy.
Hello.
I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Guy Keltner?
Keltner.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're hanging out with Guy Keltner from Seattle.
Hell yeah.
The famous Guy Keltner from everybody's famous today. Famous Guy Keltner from Acid Tongue and Freak Out Records.
Hell yeah.
And also Freak Out Fest, which is something that Freak Out Records puts on every
And
year.
one of your bands is playing it.
Yes, Fruit and Flowers is
Hell
playing
yeah.
Freak Out Fest this year. Really excited about that. So real quick, let's plug Freak Out Fest. When's it happening?
November 16th and 17th.
All right. Who are some of the headliners?
Shabazz Palaces, The Night Beats, All Them Witches, a band called Sneaks. This band from LA called Death Valley Girls playing.
Love Death Valley Girls.
Deep Valley's playing as well. who I
Yeah,
love.
which actually kind of confused me because I was like, wait, Deep Valley and Death Valley.
Yeah,
So,
we have both.
Yeah,
we got
that's
all
good.
the valleys covered.
You got to have all the valleys.
Absolutely.
I doubt that.
Absolutely. And Acid Tongue's playing.
And of course, yeah,
Yeah.
Acid Tongue. So tell me a little bit about Freak Out Fest. Because this is like, what, the third year? Second
It's
or
a
third?
sixth year.
Sixth year?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And I started the label afterwards, so the label came from the festival.
So the festival came first.
We used to call it the Psychedelic Holiday Freakout.
Okay.
And it was just because I toured a lot. I mean, I still tour a lot, but I was touring a lot with another band called Fox and the Law. And we just threw it as an excuse to get everybody, like in the wintertime, it's so dead in Seattle. It's
Yeah.
kind of cold. And so we did a weekend event, and part of it, like the main stage was in a dance studio that we built out a stage and everything for. And it was just kind of small bands in the beginning and homies from LA and San Francisco and Portland. And then it's just turned into more of like a proper curated festival. It's kind of got a Tree Fort vibe, but a lot smaller.
yeah.
So we're not taking over the whole city. We just take over a neighborhood called Ballard now. And
Okay.
everything goes down there. And it's very much like about not just seeing the headliners, but trying to find new music. You know, we have a bunch of bands from Mexico coming up this year, which is a big deal. The consulate helped us like kind of expedite that whole process and paid for some of their travel and everything, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And people come out, and we have like visual artists like doing liquid lights and all sorts of things at every venue. And there's usually some sort of cool, like immersive experience, and people love it. It's been awesome.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised there aren't more festivals in Seattle, I feel like, but
There's a lot.
there are a lot.
There's a ton.
Yeah.
Yes. There's nothing like this though.
Okay.
Anywhere. Except for maybe like Levitation, but that's just psych music. Like I'm doing a lot more like hip hop and electronic and folk music on top of that.
Yeah, when I saw the lineup, I was like, yeah, this was not what I was expecting
all over
from,
the map.
from Freak Out Fest. But I guess I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I think every year we try to keep it that way too. I mean, I'm trying to do something that's bigger than just a genre. It's
Yeah.
about having an experience. I want people to go out of their comfort zone when they come out. And every year I always hear like somebody went to some weird gig there, and we try to like kind of mix up the lineups a little bit and
Yeah.
have hosts that kind of introduce certain new artists, and they'll get up on stage and explain what you're about to see. And that's really helpful for people to get hyped.
So it's like a venue-based festival. It's not like an outdoor thing.
Yeah, it's November.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're not used to that over here. November is the best time to come to Tampa.
Okay, great.
Let's do
Awesome.
Freak Out Fest Tampa in
Cool.
November.
I will detox here after freak out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. But okay, so it's kind of like you said, similar to Tree Fort or like a
Very venue heavy, and it's really, we tried to, the reason we picked Ballard, because we've done it on Capitol Hill before, which is kind of our like more like Williamsburg vibe neighborhood.
okay.
But Ballard's kind of got a little bit of an older crowd, and it's quieter in a good way, and everything's so close together there that you like really don't have to walk a lot farther than like 2 blocks to get anywhere.
That's awesome.
In the venues, they're all right next to each other, so it's cool. Like unlike Tree Fort, where you're hoofing it kind of across Boise, like there's really never going to be more than like a 5 or 10 minute walk to get to like the main stage or wherever you're trying to be.
That's really cool.
So I love it. And even the businesses that aren't doing stages are still going to have like some of the bands DJing there or hosting artist lounges, which is cool. And
Yeah,
it's
so it
really fun
gets-
for the band.
Yeah, I was gonna say it really gets the whole community and the neighborhood involved that way.
Yeah, it's like a fall camp for all the bands to come hang out.
That's
and party
really
all
cool.
weekend.
That's really cool. Yeah, when Fruit and Flowers got the offer to come by, I was like, yeah, you guys have to go and do that. Like I'm trying to go. I'd like to make it as
You should
well.
totally go.
Yeah, but it's a
not
long
that-
journey.
Yeah, it's a long journey, but like I just did the direct flight out here to Florida yesterday. It was like 5.5 hours.
Yeah, just a casual,
Just a
5.5
casual
hour.
5.5
Yeah,
hour
no
flight.
big deal. That's
You get
Yeah.
Wi-Fi on the flight.
Yeah, you watch a couple Lord of the Ringses.
Yeah,
you're there,
pop an
you know?
edible, pass out. You know?
Well, coming from Seattle, yeah, I guess you can.
yes, we can.
So it's funny because I'm finally meeting you now, even though like we've been kind of connected for a while. And I actually had wanted to meet you. I think because you were in New York for a while, right?
I just moved back after almost 3 years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you were in New York, and I think it was like the last like couple days you were there was when I had just gotten back from
That's
Europe with Fruit and
right.
Flowers.
Yeah, yeah.
And like they were having like a going away party.
Yeah,
and stuff,
Caroline
right?
threw my going away.
Yeah,
party.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
that was so fun.
I wish I would have been there.
Yeah,
but
it's great.
it was like one of those things where like, you know, I have so many other clients in New York that I was like, okay, I've just spent the last like 3 weeks with Fruit and Flowers.
Yeah.
Like if I go to another like Fruit and Flowers thing, everyone else is going to tear me apart.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, Kino Camino had a show that night. I think Big Bliss had a show that night. It was
I hung out
Northside.
with her right before I left. She's cool.
Kim?
Yeah,
She is
Kim's
the best.
amazing.
She is the best. She's such a sweetheart.
She
and
is.
Her music is incredible.
Yeah.
So-
And her husband's a baller for
Yeah.
taking care of her.
yeah. Her husband's
That's
a
awesome.
good dude. Good dude. Yeah, she's working on some really cool stuff right now. She recorded her last record with a couple of guys from Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was talking about
Yeah,
that.
Steve Shelley and
Yeah.
oh God, why am I drawing a blank? on
I'm
the other
trying to
guy's
think
name?
of his name too. Yeah. the
Lee
other one.
Ronaldo.
Lee Ronaldo.
Steve Shelley and Lee Ronaldo.
The one I like to see solo live.
Yes.
Yeah, Lee Ronaldo's great.
Yeah. When that same trip when I was in New York, Kim and I went to Steve Shelley was playing in this like avant-garde jazz band.
Of course.
Yeah, and it was like in Soho in like this loft, and it was like the very New York thing. You know, it was like
yeah.
one of the most New York things I've done.
You just said Soho and Loft
Yeah,
and jazz.
Yeah, exactly. And like really avant-garde jazz. Like just like there was one guy just playing random shit.
Yeah,
and
bap,
yeah,
bap,
yeah.
bap.
And it was
It doesn't make any
cool as
sense.
fuck. Like I don't want to minimize
I'm
any
sure it was
avant-garde musicians. And Steve Shelley's an incredible like percussionist all around. So like he really brought it together. But it was not what I was expecting to see. You know, walking up the stairs in Soho, and then
I don't think
this
any
is
of
what
those
it is.
guys play conventional music outside of Sonic Youth. And
Yeah.
Sonic Youth's not even conventional. So
No.
yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, very adventurous.
Cool.
So-
Well, we didn't see each other in New York.
No, but we're
But
seeing each other now. So
we're
that's
here.
why when I saw, so this is what I was getting to. Okay.
Okay.
I I get invited to most of the shows, and I saw that the show is happening at the Hub, and I see Acid Tongue listed, and I was like, isn't that Guy's band? I was like, is this? I was like, this can't be the same Acid Tongue. It's like it's gotta be.
Sunsigns are friends.
Yeah. I was like, it's got to be somebody else, but no, it was actually,
Yeah.
it's actually you. So I hit you up right away, and I was like, dude, if you're coming to Tampa, we gotta finally link
So happy.
up.
Are you going to be in Orlando or Tampa?
Yeah, I'm going to be in
Okay,
Orlando
you'll
this
be in
weekend,
Orlando.
so
That's fine.
I won't be able to make the set, which
Well,
I'm
you
really
won't see me
bummed
black
about.
out then. That's good.
Okay. Yeah. So how,
See me
That happens
behave
quickly at the
myself.
Hub.
It
Yeah.
happens quickly when I play solo too, because I usually like that's when I'll bring the whiskey on stage. It's like I'm by myself.
Oh, no.
There's no bandmates to get upset.
Yeah.
It's
They're,
like,
they're going to give you a pint of whiskey.
oh, I can't wait.
yeah,
I can't wait.
the what is it? The Hub
Yeah.
pour.
The Hub pour.
The Hub pour
Yeah,
is quite
yes.
generous.
Yeah, good.
If you want to learn
Good.
about that ahead of time, go to Elmer's right there.
Okay.
They do the same fucking thing.
Fucking A, let's do it right now. After this, let's do it. Let's go right after this.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck
What
it.
else?
Let's
What else
do it.
we
Yeah.
gotta do? You just
No, I mean
yeah,
the
you just gotta
trick-
work later. It's all
The
good.
band is very serious when we're playing. Like as a we're not serious, but like we'll take it pretty easy as a band. But then when I'm
Yeah.
doing solo shows, like I'll show up, I'll be sober until the start of the show, and I'm just gonna start and just see where things go within the hour, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll heckle the crowd back, and like it's like half comedy act before it's anything else.
Sure.
Yeah, you got to do something to keep it interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to be some dipshit with an acoustic guitar.
Oh,
No.
you're not.
No,
I
man.
never would have thought you were a
No.
dipshit with an acoustic.
Maybe.
guitar. Yeah. I would have assumed you'd play electric.
No, no,
Not with that whiskey in here.
Yeah,
not with
I
that
know.
whiskey in me, man. Yeah.
So what are the differences then from playing, by yourself versus the full Acid Tongue experience?
Well, there's no full I have the whole thing arranged differently depending on how I'm touring. So solo is like obviously easy, and I'll pick up DJ gigs too, and those are mostly just because it's like easy to travel, and it's a situation where I don't really want to pay the whole band to come
Yeah,
out.
totally.
I'm writing everything, and then I have one other guy named Ian that lives in LA, and he plays drums and does all our artwork.
Cool.
So that's like the core band. He does most of the recordings with me, but not all of those either. And then it's just a rotating crew. So like I had the Mammoths from Austin backing me. I've had Smokey Brights from Seattle back
Yeah,
me.
yeah, I love Smokey
In New
Brights.
York, I have a bunch of random people. Like the guys from Plastic Picnic have played with me before.
Okay.
My friend Jake kind of arranges members for me now, and I just different like full rotating cast of people. So we'll tour as a 2-piece. Sometimes Ian and I, just for ease, will get in like a sedan
Yeah.
and go on tour that way. 3-piece is probably the most common way we play. But then we do 4, we throw in keys. And like lately when we've been having a Smokey Brights guest in, Ryan and Kim will play keyboards and an extra guitar,
Cool.
and then they sing like really good backup vocals. So it's just like sometimes there's literally 5 people on stage singing at once, and it's awesome.
So it's like a modular band.
Yeah, it's totally. I mean, I just do whatever we can, and it's got to be fun each way, but it can't be the same. Like a 5-piece is going to be totally different vibes. When we were at South by, we did like 10 or 11 shows.
Mm-hmm.
I think 9 of them we did as a 5-piece with some of the Mammoths guys popping in, and then we did a couple 3-piece sets, and they're a little more punk. 2-piece, 3-piece has got more of like an edgy vibe. When it gets into 5, it's like there's lots of vocalists going, and it's very arranged. It's kind of like a band vibe going on. It sounds like the band. It sounds like that kind of higher fidelity thing going on. So it's cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So then what are people going to hear at the Hub then?
They're going to hear whatever I feel like. That's the best. I don't have a set list ever.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even when we play as a 5-piece, we may have one, but it's rare. I have to get yelled at by the band members. They have to actually be like having a nervous night for me to write out a set list.
Okay. Yeah.
They get irritated and they're like, man, I can't have you calling out songs tonight. It's just not going to work for me.
Yeah,
So,
it's too much anxiety.
Tonight I'll probably play or tomorrow night I'll probably play like a few Acid Tongue songs and then just fuck around with whatever I feel like. And sometimes I just stop playing in the middle of them.
Yeah.
And
Because why finish?
Because why the hell? Who cares?
Yeah.
And I'll just like I don't want to fucking play this right now. And I'll go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll do some old songs from other bands and some covers and shit and just feel it out. I'll see what people are responding to.
Yeah.
And if they're not responding, I'll just yell at them until they throw me out.
They won't throw you out of the Hub.
Oh, they won't throw me out.
You can yell all you want.
Yeah.
That's a big feat.
Yeah.
Okay,
people-
let's see if I
people
can do it,
will yell
guys.
back.
Come on. Don't challenge me on this one.
So is this your first time in Tampa?
Second. Last time I came here was back in December, and I played at Microgroove, which was fun.
Yeah,
We just did like
Shout
a
out to
record
Keith.
store show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. It
Yeah. Microgroove's the best.
was awesome. And we played with Sunsigns that time too.
Okay.
That's how I met them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Was that just you also, or?
I had the Mammoths with me on that tour.
Okay.
So what was happening was they would usually I think Sunsigns played and then Mammoths supported and then they stayed on stage and then I just get up and do my whole set with them.
Right.
So that was a fun tour. That was really easy. Like they did a lot of the driving. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
killer.
always nice when someone else does the driving.
They're sweet Southern boys. I love it.
That's really
So
cool.
sweet to me.
That's really cool. Yeah. And then so this time you didn't just come just for this show. Like what are you doing here in Tampa?
I'm visiting.
You visiting?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. And I'm gonna bounce out. So I'm like on a run right now because I was in London and Brighton and Hastings, and then I went to Paris,
Okay.
and then I had to go back to Seattle to work, and now I'm here, and then I fly to LA next to rehearse for like a day.
Okay.
I'm gonna do like some work there and then rehearse, and then go to Mexico City, and then we have like a bunch of gigs in and around Mexico City, and then it ends at Hypnosis Festival,
Okay.
and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's playing. Ohm is playing. Like there's so many
Sweet.
rad bands. All the Laws are DJing like the party we're playing.
Cool.
So it's gonna be really cool
In Mexico City?
in Mexico City.
That sounds like a blast.
It's gonna be awesome. And my mom's family's from Mexico City.
Okay.
So I'm gonna meet a bunch of people that I kind of know, some that I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I go back to Seattle and I have like 3 weeks to prep before I have to go tour up the coast to do Freak Out Fest.
Wow, that's
So-
a busy schedule.
It is gonna be busy. And my work hates me right now because I work at a pot shop back in Seattle.
Okay.
And like,
a pot
They're like,
shop.
when the hell do you
like,
work here?
So like potted plants, like potted.
oh yeah, no, we sling fine green.
Okay.
fine green, the finest.
Okay. Yeah. What is that? What is it like to work at a pot shop? What is that?
It's so awesome because
I'm sure it is.
my boss is super chill, and it's kind of like it's definitely a mom and pop pot shop. It's not. There's some. There's
not
some
one of
that-
those corporate
There's some
pot
that lean
shops.
towards corporate. I'm not joking, and then there's
Yeah.
some that are like a bodega almost, and so it's like very quiet. There's a lot of I right next to the University of Washington where I do it, so there's a lot
Yeah.
of like kids that come in and try to use fake IDs, which is funny to see. And
Yeah,
they
it's
just look
like,
like
come on.
babies, and it's pretty obvious they're they're fucking with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids will just hand me an ID that's like says they're 19, and are like, cool, huh? And I'm like, no, yeah, cool, get the fuck out.
Right.
But it's pretty cool because I can work on freak out shit during the day, especially when there are lulls, and I'll just be hanging and we're just bumping music and
yeah.
getting existential with each other.
I still have more questions about the pot shop. So like,
Yeah,
I
keep
gotta
going.
I gotta
We could
stay
go
on this for a minute.
I'm literally
So-
eating this stuff right now.
okay.
It's like an activated oil. I don't know what's in it, but it gets me high.
Okay. This is all right. This is interesting.
I've been putting it on like bananas and stuff.
What do you do? Do you like?
I'm a door guy, but they just
You're a door guy. So
but
you're
they
the
call me
bouncer.
yeah, the bouncer.
Okay.
But they train me into it's called bud tending.
Okay.
It really is.
I love that.
And they just trained me to be a bud tender. So right before I left for Florida, I did my first bud tending shift.
Okay.
And it was awesome, to say the least.
Yeah. See, I've never even been to a dispensary, so I don't know so bud tending. So you're the guy who I come in and I say, hey, give me, an ounce of purple kush, and then you just go and grab the purple kush.
Exactly.
That's
That's
so
like,
amazing.
so it's like really irritating because some people will try like some fucking weird, like, do you have alien fruity pebbles? And I'm like, we had that once, but like, there's like fucking 800 strains here. Like, do you need to be that specific? There's people will get obsessed
With one strain.
like that. And I'm like, dude, like, what kind of high do you want? Like, seriously, this all smokes well. Like,
Yeah.
what are we looking for here? That can get irritating when people come in and they're like, I only use this one type of edible. And I'm like, they all do the same shit, dude.
Yeah.
I think there's still some like misconceptions socially about pot. And like some people will come in like, I want like an upper that makes you feel like you're on coke. And I'm like, well, you should go buy cocaine.
Yeah.
Like, or go drink a bunch of coffee because I've never had a pot that makes me feel like I'm on blow, dude.
I wouldn't want that at all.
Nobody wants that
Yeah,
except
who
for some
wa-
idiot college kids,
Yeah. Who really don't get
I
it.
want some that helps me study. And I'm like, you should just go study then.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
an
No,
Adderall.
don't smoke
Yeah,
weed
yeah.
and study. That's how you can
Yeah.
study better.
Study high, get high grades, my ass.
Yeah. How high? Study high, get high.
yeah, exactly.
Get high scores on the test.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out. That's only if you're Method Man does that happen.
It's a very fun job for me because I've never been fired from like I used to work in like advertising and marketing and doing a bunch of other stuff. And I've never been fired before, but like this is one of those jobs where if I got fired, I'd be very surprised. So there's very low bar
Yeah.
for me to hit. Like I can just,
Okay.
I
feel like you'd be very good at this job.
I love it. People
feel-
people love coming in and hanging out too.
Yeah.
It's almost too fun to be chatty there.
Sure.
But I fuck off a lot. I take personal calls. I'm just like sitting like ID, okay.
So just going on record about how great of an
My
employee
boss
you
is
are.
not going to listen
No,
to this
no.
thing.
Well,
she doesn't. She doesn't
or
give a
she
fuck.
should. She should.
No, she doesn't give a fuck. She's
Yeah.
probably. If she is listening, what's up?
Yeah.
So, I fuck off at your job.
What are you gonna do?
They have cameras. She knows when I'm goofing off.
Okay.
I saw some sheet come up the other day, and it's like, please limit the personal calls you're on. Please stop eating in front of. And it's like everything that I do.
Like she's just been watching.
It's literally
the
like,
tape of
please
you.
don't let the new guy set a bad example for the rest of you folks.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
So you're doing this while you're working on Acid Tongue. you're
Yeah,
working on the
I
music
work
and-
with Acid Tongue. I have a couple other odd gigs that I do here
Okay.
and there, and then I just write a lot. Like right now, I'm starting to work with other artists writing their projects, and there is a need to be in LA more, which I don't really love. Like my family's from LA as well, and I'm gonna try and figure out a way to like commute there more.
Yeah. Why
It's
do you
really
why do you
cheap.
feel that need? Like, why do you? Feel
Well,
you
there's
have
just
to
more
be-
projects I'm going to be working on down there.
Okay.
But I don't really want to be like an LA guy,
Yeah.
Like
I
I
know
don't
the
I don't
feels.
like that feeling. I like Seattle so much, and it's like I was really homesick when I was in New York City, so
Yeah.
it feels good to be back there. It's just a very cool progressive. I mean, it could be irritatingly progressive, but
Yeah.
it's a beautiful city. Like I miss being in my old house and looking out one side and seeing like the Columbia Tower, and then on my left side I could see like Mount Rainier.
Mm-hmm.
You're just surrounded by mountains, and I like the rain, and I like the water being everywhere.
Yeah. It's
So-
and that's where you were born and raised.
Yeah, and like, well, no, I was born in San Francisco and
Okay.
raised in LA and Seattle, but
Okay.
I far prefer Seattle.
Yeah. Seattle's home.
It is
for you.
totally home for me.
Yeah.
And I just fit in more
Yeah.
there. I just like it more. But it's the kind of place where like you don't know. Like in LA, you can tell when somebody's like has money or is because they want fucking everyone to know.
Yeah.
And they have that car that they probably can't afford that's leased, and they're wearing fucking ridiculous clothes and they're out to be seen. In Seattle, this guy could be a fucking billionaire and he's wearing like a flannel and shows up in a Subaru.
Right.
It's
right.
much more downplay, which is what I love about it. Like I like that people aren't trying to like it's very much like even celebrities that visit there, I feel like they're doing it because they know they can just keep a low profile and people weren't going to mess with you. You'll
Yeah.
still get the occasional photograph with the family or whatever, but like a lot of people just are like, oh, cool, it's Conan O'Brien. Like he's there a lot, or
Yeah.
oh, it's Eddie Vedder. Like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
What's Eddie done lately?
Yeah.
Your last
That's
record
good-
sucked, dude.
Yeah. Good point.
That's Seattle.
Yeah. Okay.
Fucking
okay.
fire
I dig
crutch.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I think like I feel like music now is such a global. I mean, it's always been a global thing, but like it's not the way the movie industry works, where you have to be in LA, or the way fashion works, where you have to be in like New York or something. Like
I'm getting a lot of pressure from Ian to get out there and like,
Yeah.
Ian, Stop. No.
Yeah, you really
I will
don't
be
have
out
to.
there, and I'm probably going to be out there for a long. Like, it's going to happen. It's just like I'm in no rush because I actually, unfortunately, like Seattle so much. You know, it just feels not just like home, but like especially with the whole Amazon thing happening. I have like an investment there to like fucking fight the bullshit that's happening right now, the tech bros and all this shit. Like, it needs to maintain its cultural vibe, or it's going to be ruined. You know, and I really don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want it to turn into San Francisco because San Francisco fucking blows now, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry to all my friends, anybody listening in San Francisco, they fucking know it right now. Yeah. You know, it sucks, dude. It feels so like diluted. It's like white toast now. Yeah. You know, it's fucking white toast with no butter on it.
That's the worst toast.
All the fucking great clubs, like the Elbow Room just got closed down. Now it's in Oakland. Oakland's great. I love Oakland. Yeah. But like Oakland still has a ways to go to be that kind of a city that San Francisco once was, you know? I don't think we'll ever get that sort of a thing back. Yeah. You know, they just didn't put the proper precautions in place as tech was blowing up, you know? Yeah. And people come in, and this happens in Seattle. They fucking buy like a house. They don't interact with the community. They complain and complain and complain about the local venue. It gets fucking shut down because they're a fucking cunt. Yeah. And like, this
they probably
dude
have a lot more money than the venue.
Yeah. Does. And this dude probably donates to the city council. And it's too loud. It's like, get the fuck out of here then, you know? Yeah. And they don't interact with like anything fun. Like, they go to like fucking Cheesecake Factory. Yeah. You know, they order their shit on like Amazon. Their groceries, everything, you know, they don't leave the fucking house. They watch Netflix, so they're not going to the theater. They're not doing anything. There's no culture to it. It becomes very subdued and annoying, and it just feels like you're walking down like a cool neighborhood and it's empty all of a sudden, you know? Yeah. There's still a lot of vibrancy there, but we need to like maintain it. And it's very frustrating. I'm obviously getting heated about it.
Yeah, you're fighting the good
fight,
but
it makes me fucking mad, you know? And we've seen it coming for years because my mom works for Evergreen Hospital, and she just deals with all the Microsoft guys for years. And some of these dudes are really nice, you know? And I'm not shitting on people that work at Amazon and Microsoft. I'm shitting on the people who act entitled. I'm shitting on the people who come from somewhere else and expect that we're just going to adjust to them, you know? I'm shitting on everyone that does that kind of shit because it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah. And it happens in every city. I mean, obviously, like to the extremes in places like Seattle and San Francisco right now.
Extreme right now. Yeah, you know, it's stomach churning to watch it happen.
Well, they're doing that in St. Pete too. Yeah. They're having like a meeting this weekend about like noise ordinances, and they want it to be like 65 decibels, which is like 5 decibels higher than a normal conversation like we're having right now.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So they're just like trying to ruin the whole like nightlife experience. And it's just
and are you staying involved?
Everything. I mean, I'm not going to be able to make it because like I'm working, but I support the cause, and I have friends that are going to be there and supporting. So
yeah, I mean, if that's the big thing is just to be fucking bugging your friends, you know. And if they give a shit, make sure they're doing something about it. Because I think back home, that's the biggest problem. Is like everyone wants to complain on Facebook. No one wants to show up and do the real work.
Yeah, that is what I love about Florida, though. Is when a city does that in Florida, there is no noise ordinance on a car or a motorcycle. So if they start enforcing those kinds of ordinances, you can just ride your bike or your car down that street loud as fuck.
Just do donuts.
Yeah. Nonstop.
Just rev the motorcycle during the entire concert. And just drown it out, you know? It's great. You
or
guys
just have the band members on motorcycles and just like perform, and then just kind of have like a loophole that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Hire fucking Hells Angels like they did at Altamont. Nothing bad ever happened with the Hells Angels, right?
Never.
Nothing bad ever happened. This is a good idea, right?
They weren't involved with the Beatles or anything.
No, totally.
No. Wow. Well, that's amazing. See, but I'm totally sympathetic of that, and I definitely am hip to not wanting to become an LA guy, or, you know, like for me, like I work with a lot of bands in New York, and there's always been kind of this pull to maybe move to New York, but I realized like even just financially, like I can save money by living here and going to New York when I need to.
You could do New York in 5 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I know.
I didn't need to live there either. I hated coming back home to New York because it's so intense.
Yeah, it's really intense.
It's a great city. It's fucking beautiful. It's awesome. Everything about it. But like,
and I see why people need to live. I see there's a certain personality type where like I get it. You know,
kind of.
New York is the kind of place where I would feel the need to just be home instead of be out all the fucking time.
It's hard too. Yeah. It's hard to do all that. And you know what sucks? You are home a lot because everything's more expensive, and it takes longer to get places than you'd think.
Yeah.
If it's not off the subway line, you got to Uber. It takes fucking forever to go 3 miles. You know, it's a nightmare to get anywhere, and it sucks that everybody's there. And like I thought, I'm going to see so many more concerts. Now I'm like, no, they sell out in like 2 seconds to everybody from Jersey's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not really like you get this more access. You know, I'm realizing back home I was really taking it for granted because the guy I run Freak Out with, he works at KEXP. So it's insane how, you know, it's easy to get tickets to things. It's easy. I used to work at Numos, which is like our big like independent venue in town. I ran marketing there. And so we still know all these people can get free shows. And then that's access, you know?
Yeah,
and then we're
yeah.
actually seeing all the shows that I thought I would do in New York. I was doing all the cultural stuff that I really wanted there. It's just so not possible, you know? You only have a finite amount of money there. And in New York, it just goes.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Like my rent wasn't even that bad. You know, certain things weren't even that bad, but you have to work twice as hard to maintain life there, you know?
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
really tests you, which is what was good about it. Like I feel like it's ironed out the hustle. It's made me not take shit for granted as much. And it's
Yeah.
made me much less sympathetic towards certain people when they complain about the industry and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, that's because you're a fucking loser. Like, seriously.
Well, it's not even about being, well, yeah. Sometimes
Yeah, but, like,
it's about being a
sometimes it
loser,
is. It
but-
is, you
But
know?
it's also, yeah, it's the hustle is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And New York definitely has that sense of like, you need to move fast. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you need to keep pushing forward or else you're going to get left behind by
Yeah.
a million other people that are doing the same thing that you're
Exactly.
doing.
And I feel like so many bands out there are working so hard,
Yeah.
you know, that when they finally do make that jump and maybe move to another city or at least start traveling more, they're going to be so much better than everyone, because they've dealt with that day where it's like they walk out the house and there's a homeless dude jerking off in their face, and then they walk by and there's a dead body on the street, and the subway, you miss it, and then they're late. You know what I mean? It's just a bad day in New York is worse than any day elsewhere. Like New York, you have your best day and your worst day for sure.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be. And you can feel like a king too.
Yeah, that's true. You could also have some of the greatest days ever. in New York.
Absolutely.
Or the
Absolutely.
greatest nights in particular. So
That don't end.
yeah, no. I've had
So-
some amazing never ending
I,
nights.
I liked your description of a really bad day in New York. What would that be if it was a really good day?
Is it a really good day?
Yeah.
What's a really
I
Like
mean,
instead of a
good
homeless
day,
dude
like,
jerking off
I
in your
had-
face.
I have like friends that work for Rock Nation that would hire me a lot to do production stuff. So some of the days with them where we were just working were awesome to meet, like, you know, Isaiah Thomas from the Celtics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
To go and shoot
Are you
these
taller than
artists.
him?
I actually think
that
I am.
doesn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
definitely.
Yeah.
And like just watching him, like we were like all shooting hoops together before we started shooting.
Yeah.
Which is insane. You know, like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of the shit that we were doing, it was just like unfucking real. And then afterwards, you know, it's like we had to take the drive back from Boston in a van, you know, and this still counts as a New York City day.
Okay, sure,
Running around with them. But like
Yeah.
just doing that shit with that crew and then us all drinking tequila together on the way back to our homes, you know, it's just
Yeah.
like fun vibe. And everyone's such a workaholic that they're like not going to bitch out at the end. They're like, cool, we can still get a drink after this 18-hour day we just had. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I love that about New Yorkers. It's like, all right, the fun doesn't stop here. I'm not going to pull the, oh, I'm too tired tonight. It's like, no, let's just do it. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Those are the good days. It's like when you've had a rough one and you just need to kind of get that release.
See, for me, it's much simpler. What makes my day in New York is if I'm on the train and suddenly the train announcer says that the train is going express exactly to where I'm going.
Yes.
That's all I
Absolutely.
need. That is a great
Yes.
day for me.
Yeah,
in New
and the
York.
bad day is when they tell you they have to skip the stop because they're behind schedule.
No,
Yes.
and that's the bad.
And then
day.
you get 10 stops up. You're like, well, shit, there's not another one going the other way.
no, exactly,
Fuck,
exactly,
dude.
yeah.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. That's
it's
a perfect day.
Basically, the MTA decides my mood in New York.
When it's
which-
fucking 100 degrees out, and then you get on the subway and it blasts the AC at you,
Yeah.
and they say that, and you're express to your stop.
yeah, it's like that's when you feel like a king because you're like, yes, they're going
Yeah.
to my.
And Whole Foods is handing out gift cards outside the fucking MTA station.
Yes,
Exactly.
That's
Perfect New
beautiful.
York day. Yes.
Beautiful. I'm loving it.
Awesome.
I'm absolutely loving
Into it.
So why aren't you? Yeah, so it's time to go back then.
No, no way, man. Those bad days were bad.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around.
So
Yeah.
so tell us a little bit more about Freak Out Records then too. So you said the festival came 1st and then the label.
So Ian used to be on Freak Out with us, and him and I were really heavily involved with just not just Acid Tongue, but he got really in with working with me on the fest, and he's my main designer for everything Acid Tongue does. Like he does all of our art, and he was doing all the that poster assets and stuff for the festival. And we met this other guy named Skylar that was working for Cafe Vita at the time, and now is like the business development guy at KEXP.
Okay.
And he was just so kind of like the money brains behind it, and you know, Ian was the artistic, and then I'm just the curator as far as like booking. I'm the one calling all the agents and negotiating the band fees and bullshit. And so we kind of had this nice trifecta going, and we were like, let's fucking work on the festival together. And out of that partnership grew the label. And Ian since left because he's just like he's got so much other shit going on. Like he's working 20 million miles an hour right now.
Yeah.
But Skylar and I are still doing it, and it's mostly going to be live events moving forward. Like we put a few records out, and our flagship band is Smokey Brights.
Yeah.
But we just signed a band from Albuquerque called Prism Bitch.
I think I owe Smokey Brights an email, so apologize to them for me.
Okay,
But-
I will. You should totally hit them.
No,
up. They're
I know, I need
amazing.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just
'cause-
dropped a record today.
Yeah. Really? Today?
Yeah, it's called Different Windows.
Shout out
It's
to Smokey
Yeah,
Brights.
shout out to it. It's so good.
Okay. I'm going to listen to it after
Yeah,
this.
we were blasting it on the way here.
Cool.
It was great. But anyways, so we do a few records. We're doing kind of scaling that back to just a few a year because the live events are just so much stronger and
Yeah.
they're so much more of like a moneymaker than
Sure.
slinging vinyl.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
labels out there, so it's like the labels, you got to like really be committed to that end of the thing.
You
So
have to
that's-
have a lot of money.
That's the other
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
We're getting the distribution side sorted, we're handling licensing, we're doing all like the right things, but it's just getting capital is
Yeah.
fucking hard. And the festival is so much more lucrative to us right now in terms of just setting us up for success
Yeah.
and for what we're really trying to do, And I think what we're trying to do is create something unique, That's really it. Like these bands that have signed, like they don't have another channel and we're really into them,
Yeah.
Prism Bitch is like one of the coolest live shows I've seen in a long time.
I love the name.
And they're opening for Built to Spill right now on tour. Like they're doing cool shit. They've got this great punk record they just put together that we're going to drop in a few months.
Cool.
And then we just signed the Mammoths, those guys that backed me, and they're
Yeah.
more like on that like Gary Clark Jr. vibe, just like super Texas R&B blues, soul vibes. And so
Yeah.
it's like kind of just figuring out like who do we like. Who needs help? What
Yeah,
can we do
yeah.
for them? Like, how can we help them out? And it's less of like us being a label that kind of like handles everything for the band and more about a partnership. Like we're looking for the type of bands that want to work if not twice as hard as we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Smokey Brights are working tirelessly right now.
Yeah.
Those guys are hustling real hard every
That's
single
awesome.
day. I mean, Kim was an attorney.
Yeah.
And Ryan's been working in media for years. So they just
yeah.
they have their shit together.
Sure.
They're like adults.
Yeah.
They're
I
real
love working
adults.
with adults.
Oh,
That's a
man,
great
working
thing.
with adults is so much better than working with children. So much better.
Absolutely true. Absolutely
So much better.
true.
They don't throw shit at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's like, I don't know. That's like working with gorillas or something.
Yeah.
I've never had children throw
You
shit
should
at
see
me.
the bands that I've dealt with in the past. Some of these bands, I tell you.
Some of these bands just throwing that shit.
Yeah, dude, slinging
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I know how that is. So we're pretty much out of time, but I just
Cool.
wanted to kind of touch on, I guess you already kind of gave us a little bit of the schedule of what's coming up in your shows, but just anything else you want to tell us about that's coming in the future or anything else you want to
Yeah,
plug?
we just finished a new record. We need a label right now. I don't want to do it on Freak Out. And we have some interest, but I want more interest. So, What's up?
There's some label people
what's
that
up?
listen to this.
What's
so
up? Yo, labels. Say what up to me. Hit me up.
He just said he will work twice as hard.
Yeah,
as
it's a
anyone
great
else.
record too. We definitely went like way more hi-fi even than Babies.
Oh, right on,
We
dude.
put a lot of work into it.
Send it
And
to me. I'd love
the
to
drums
hear
are
it.
fucking banging on it too. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah,
I will send it to you.
please do.
Great, awesome.
All right, you want to shout out the Instagram?
Shout out to Ian. Shout out to Freak Out
Okay.
Records at Acid Tongue on everything.
And this will come out way after your performance at the Hub. So if you saw Acid Tongue at the Hub, I hope it was awesome.
Yeah, I hope it was awesome.
And I hope you didn't black out.
I hope I browned out on stage and blacked out after.
Oh God, no.
If you have pictures of him blacking or browning out, please post them on Instagram at Acid Tongue Instagram.